My hive set up for the new colony that came and moved in all on its own. And I'm showing you this shot here because this is the tree that I'm actually going to use as a mount. It's a pretty good vision. So you can see the box right in front, which is the box they moved into all on their own. And then you can see the hive that I've had for about 4 years now that I have recolonized multiple times, several times by splitting my own hive, and twice now by a colony simply moving into it. Now I'm going to move it from here all the way back there. If you look way back there is a hive by that pampas grass. You can see that light blue thing back there. That's where it's going to move to, but I can't move it all at one time. It'll throw the bees off too much. So you can see right now, halfway in between here and there is the new hive that I split just a couple days ago, and it's just sitting there in the middle of the yard. It's far enough away from the mother hive, and it will move a couple blocks away from here eventually. But for right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to suit up, and I'm going to move that hive from over there to this point right here, and then I will move it to the other side of this shed, and then I will move it halfway in between this shed and that, so about 20 to 25 feet each move. So this is going to be the first move, and in this case it is the location of that shed that is dictating how far I can move it. That looks like a decent angle there. So I'm going to go ahead, I've got the smoker stuff set up here, so I'm going to smoke it first, and then I'm going to put on my suit and start disassembling this. And then I will move it over there piece by piece. Now, right now, I do not have my readers, so I will not be responding to chat. I apologize for that. And let me go ahead and get my smoking material. And I'll show you once again, this is some burlap sack that sat out in the rain and got a little broken down by the weather. And that's what I like to use to start it. You know, I could literally throw in leaves and that sort of stuff, leaves or grasses and that, but this really works quite well. So I'm going to put in some of this older stuff first and get a little fire going, and then put in some of the newer stuff on top. Simply close it up, give it a couple pumps, and I'm going to blow a little bit right in here at the bottom. And because I have this one with vents on it and screens, I'm actually going to blow some right into the box through this vent. And this should calm the bees down somewhat. Okay, that should be good enough. So now I'll go ahead and don my gear. And while I'm putting that on, you can see that the bees are quite tranquil. They don't seem to be too upset right now. I'll once again show you a little bit about this suit. For one, it has these wonderful elastic straps that fit around your thumbs, so this will always keep the suit down. It also has elastic at the bottom, so it holds tightly to my waist, and you may have noticed that I am wearing jeans. Those are very protective for the legs. I only do this because I have a moderate reaction to bee stings. I swell up. I don't go into anaphylaxis, and they're not just annoying. I am in between. That's why it's called a moderate allergy. So let me grab my gloves, put my hood on, and start moving it. It also has a zipper that zips on the hood, seals it off completely, so if the bees get angry and start swarming, there's no way they can get at my face, and I won't get all swollen up. These are literally kid gloves. They're made from young goats, and so they're very thin, but they're thick enough to stop a bee sting from getting to my skin. But they're also quite, I'm not sure what the perfect word for that would be. I want to say malleable, but that's not it. I can grip things well with these, and they're nice and soft. So I'm going to go ahead and smoke them one more time. Just blow some smoke in through this bottom vent. Open up this vent again. So this box is built with some vents because it's made to capture a colony out of a wall of a house. However, I think I'm going to keep using it for this because it actually allows me to cool off the hive if it's a really hot day. So I'm going to start by taking the outer lid off, which is clad to resist rain. And then I'm going to leave this inner lid on. No, I'm not. I'm going to take this inner lid off, and I have a tool for that to break up the propolis. And this is my first view inside of this for a couple weeks. I'm just going to take this top box off. That's a box that has a bunch of frames in it that it doesn't look like they've done much with, but I'm going to go ahead and check. Yeah, so these are all mediums, and they've done a little buildup on it. Very little, though, at this point in time, but that's what we hope to take honey from in late summer. Okay, so let me give them a little more smoke. And this box right here is what has all the frames with the honey on it that I gave them to help this colony get a good start. So this will probably be fairly heavy. I'm going to go ahead and remove that box and just set it off to the side here. I wish I had my readers. I left them at my other house. Separate all the propolis off of that. And there we go. So that's off to the side. Now this I'm going to try to move all on its own. This is where the queen is, inside here with her colony. I don't know what these little things are. Clean them off. They look like just something from the tree maybe. So right now I'm going to go ahead and lift this whole thing and move it over to that new location. And it's not too heavy. Okay, so let me take my glove off real quick here. And this is the little stand I have for it in the new location. So that's hopefully where my queen is, and she's in there with her brood. So now I'm just going to reassemble it. Get my glove back on, protect my hands. And let's see. I'm not even going to mess with this. This is basically just honey that I've given them. It's not the most organized thing, but I don't need to do anything with it right now because this just is helping them get their colony started. Give you a real quick view of it. It's actually some old honey from a previous hive. So one thing I am going to do is add a new cell to this, a new frame, not cell. Okay, pop my glove off again real quick. And you can see that the bees are a little confused right now. There's none going in and out of this because it's like 20 feet away, maybe 25 feet. Here is the top cell. So down at the bottom is the brood. Up here is their food, their honey, and their pollen. And then this last box over here is what hopefully they will expand to. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that back on. I might end up transferring this box here to the other hive eventually, because the other hive is a little bit better, but I might just put a brand new one on that. Another shot of this, and this is called a medium, and it's got nothing but blank frames that hopefully they will produce honey for, that I can steal from them later on, or maybe not this year, but certainly in the future. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the inner lid and the upper lid back on, and that'll be it. We'll be done for today. A real simple little move. Now you can see all those bees over there, very confused. Where's our hive? It will take them a little bit, but they will figure it out. So put the inner lid on. And last but not least, the outer lid on. Okay, and one last thing I'm going to do here is to inspect the bottom plate. So I'm going to leave the camera on. I'm going to pull the bottom plate out and check to see if there's any signs of parasites. I'm going to put this glove back on. And I'll show you a couple more things before I finish this video. You can continue to see the confused bees for just a moment while I pull out this bottom. It's really stuck in here, so it's taking me a little bit longer than I thought it would. Okay, so I'm really seeing nothing but wax on this. I do not see, well, I see a beetle right there. I see a couple beetles, so it looks like I may have some beetles in this hive. And so I'm actually going to go out and look in the sun at this because I want to see if there's any varroa on it, and then I'm going to scrape it off and come right back and continue to watch the poor confused bees. Okay, so after further inspection of that, I found there was no varroa, but there is some beetles. But I'm going to count my blessings that I don't have any moth or varroa in this hive. Okay, so let me take off my stuff. One of the things about doing things like this is you always want to make sure it's on a warm day. The other day when we split the hive, it got really windy right in the middle of the operation, which is not what we wanted, and it's not good. But it is what it is. Once I got started, we had to keep going with it. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got all my gear off now, but I'm not afraid to walk over. They're just looking for their hive. They're not fearful that I'm going to do any damage to them or anything. They're just trying to figure out where their hive is. And they will figure it out pretty quick. So it's right over here. There's where that bottom comes out. I just pull this open and look inside here. And that's a really nice board at the bottom. You can check for parasites by going inside there. And there's our setup. You can see we're only about 20 to 25 feet away. And the next move will be about 20 feet away to the other side of the shed. Then halfway in between the shed location and the current hive. I'm going to go ahead and walk back there right now. So this is probably where I'll set them up, is right here. Then I'll bring them to